I hope that you took your 2-minute break because now we're going to finish up numbers 9, 10, and 11 with the types of exponential graphs and some problems that we're going to be working with that involves them. Okay, so let's go draw some of the exponential graphs that you see, and I'm only going to draw 2. You guys can draw 2 as well. The first one that I drew is called an exponential growth. The reason why it's a growth is because if you look at it from left to right, it is just going up and up and up and whoop, it just goes up like that. Okay. It looks like a letter to me. My nickname for it is a J shape because it kind of does look like a J, just a little bit at least. Okay. The second one that I drew that is also an exponential graph of function is an exponential decay. So decay, it's like it's going down. So if we read it from left to right, if we just follow it from left to right, what I mean is it's going down this way. And we always read graphs from left to right. So it's just going down. It's decreasing. It's decreasing a lot. Backwards J, maybe a mirror reflection of this. Okay. All right. What does the equation look like? Well, the equation can look like this. Here's one way anyway. A to the x plus c, a to the negative x plus c. Okay. So take a look. Exponential graphs, they have a different type of an equation, and it's based on the exponents. Hence why it's called exponential graphs. So this x is positive over here, this exponent, and over here it is a negative exponent. So an example for this one, it's going to be y is equal to maybe 3 to the x minus 1. Okay. So it actually just matters if this is positive or negative. So this is a positive x. So it's going to be, if you see a positive exponent x, it's going to be a J shape, and it's going to be an exponential growth that will look like this. Okay. All right. And then for this final one, and then we can tackle a couple problems. Maybe this one over here could be y equals 2 to the negative x plus 1. Okay. Notice, take a look at the exponent. It is negative. So it's a negative exponent. If you see that the equation is a negative exponent, it's going to be an exponential decay, and it will look like a backwards J. Okay. Before we tackle 10 and 11, which I feel like it shouldn't be too bad, but let's just kind of review. Okay, the 6 graphs that we are really looking at are increasing line and decreasing line. Okay, so increasing line, there's only an x, and it's positive in front. Decreasing line, it's only an x, there could be a number over here, and it's negative in front of the x. Okay. Take a look at your 2 parabolas. It could either be facing up or inverted facing down. How can you tell based on the equation? Based on the equation, it has an x squared, and it's positive number in front of the x squared. Whereas opposed to the upside down u facing down, you have an x squared, and you have a negative number in front of the x squared. Okay. How can you tell by looking at the equation that it's an exponential graph? Well, the variable is at the exponent. So if you have a variable on the exponent and it's positive, it's going to be an exponential growth J shape. As opposed to if you have the variable on the exponent and it's negative, you're going to have a backwards J shape, and it's an exponential decay. We are ready now to decipher numbers 10 and 11, and after that you guys can work on your classwork homework. So, without plugging in numbers, match the graphical representation to the equation. State also why the other choices do not work with the graphs provided, or the graph provided. Okay, so first off, you're going to either tell me if it's a line, if it's a parabola, or an exponential graph. So I hope you guys can see that this is a line, okay? So I'm just going to put that down. So it's a line. And let's be more specific. Is it increasing or decreasing? So read it from left to right. So this is a decreasing line. Okay. Decreasing lines, if we take a look at our equation, it has a negative in front of the x. And I'm just going to write that down over here. Y equals negative mx plus b. So we need to choose an equation that has some sort of structure like that. Okay, let's choose for, let's kind of eliminate some choices first. Okay, I'm going to start with D. First of all, x squared. That's not a line. What is the x squared function? The x squared function is your parabola. So I'm going to eliminate this, and I'm going to say this is a parabola. Okay, so we also have to state why the other choices do not work. Okay, I'm also going to choose, let's take a look at A, and I'm going to X that one out because y equals 3 to the x plus 2. 3 to the x plus 2? What type of function is that? Aha, right over here. So I think this is an exponential function. So we're going to put exponential here because that's not a line. Okay. Now we're left with two choices. These are definitely lines because they just only have an x. But which one are we going to choose? I hope that you can see that we're going to choose B. And the reason why for that is because take a look at your number here. It is negative. Okay. So it is negative, and that means in front of the x, that means that it's going to be a decreasing line. And we're going to X this one out because this is positive here. This is a positive increasing line. The positive number in front of the x will tell us that it's an increasing line, but that's not what we want. We want a decreasing line. So this is how I want you guys to do number 10. You have 6 graphs to choose from. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6. You just got to pick which one the equation would match the best and why the other choices will not work. One more final one, number 11, and I think we have enough information for this. So number 11, well, let's take a look at it. I feel like it's a J shape, but it's kind of like a different type of J shape. Yeah, it's not a U because U's look like this. And I think it matches this exponential decay backwards J shape. So I'm going to put exponential decay. And then I'm going to put the equation that kind of has that structure. The structure equation is this one over here. Y equals a to the negative x plus c. So I'm trying to look for an equation that kind of looks like that structure. Okay, I'm going to start with B first. And then I'm actually going to X that one out. That's not going to be it. Because if you take a look at this structure, what kind of structure equation is this? This is a line. How can you tell? It only has an X. Okay? Only has an X. And it's not in this structure over here where the variable is at the exponent. So that's not going to work. Let's take a look at D now. Oh, it has an x squared. I'm going to X that out because x squares are what? X squares are parabolas. So I'm going to X that out. This is a parabola. All right. I think both A and C are, in fact, exponential functions because we have the variable at the exponent. We just got to pick which one it is. Okay. Hopefully, maybe you guys can see it. I am going to pick A for the final answer because we want that negative at the exponent. Okay, so there's a negative over here. And then here, it's positive. So this is going to be, if it was a positive, this is an exponential growth. But this is not a growth. This graph over here, this is an exponential decay, which is what we want. So the choice for here is going to be A. So this is how you're going to be doing the assignment. I know it's a little bit long because you got to pick the right one, and then you have to also explain why the other choices don't match. But really, at the end, you only have about 6 more problems to do, and that's numbers 18 all the way to 23. So you have to circle 1 why that works, and the other 3 why the other 3 do not work. And please make sure that your work kind of looks like this, or looks like this, explaining, why doesn't it work? Well, D doesn't work because it's a parabola. There's an x squared. Okay. A doesn't work because it's an exponential function and we're dealing with a line. Okay. So I think you have enough information now. You have the rest of the time to do this. Please do now numbers 18 to 23. And that is it for this lesson, 18 to 23 right now.